Hey guys, my name is Laura in case you may or may not know me, and I have a blog. So this section of the blog is fully about interviewing people and their struggles and how they've overcome. But I don't feel comfortable asking anybody to express themselves or be vulnerable on camera if I haven't done it myself. So this is what this video is going to be about. So I highly recommend that you guys go read the blog, check it out. And it's latethoughts.org. And I hope you guys enjoy the interview.
So what made you start this blog?
So this blog started last year when I was in a really vulnerable, sad place in my life. And I guess within that time, as I was typing, it wasn't supposed to be put out to the public. But then when I read it, I was like, you know what, man? Like, I'm pretty sure there's someone out there that feels something about this or feels the same as this. So might as well just put it out there and fuck it. So I just closed my eyes and put it out there.
Tell me about your experiences with men during your childhood.
So my experiences with men during my childhood was a little traumatizing, I guess would be the right word. And so I wasn't born here. I was born in Colombia and I came here when I was 3. And when I got here, it was because my mom was in love with my sister's dad. And at first we didn't really know or didn't realize that this guy was as bad as he was. But as soon as we got here, it wasn't long enough until he started sexually abusing me and he used to hit my mom. So that went on for about 2 years, and between that time, maybe a year and a half in, I told my mom that he was touching me, and she told him in front of me, and clearly that was not a good idea because I was really scared at the time. So when that was asked, I was scared. I told her, no, I'm lying. I told them both I was panicking. It was very obvious, I feel like, as an adult, that the kid was panicking. She wasn't lying. She was panicking. But whatever. So eventually my mom ended up catching him trying to kiss me in the mouth. And that's how she realized that maybe Laura was being serious. So she took me to a room and she asked me, what's going on? Like, did he do these things? And so I admitted to it, and it was a long night, and then somehow he just disappeared. After a while, we ended up calling the cops, but it was because we were immigrants that she was scared to call right away. And then moving forward, my mom ended up bringing a couple of different boyfriends into my life, and some were cool, but they didn't stick for long. But the one that stuck for long was, I'm just gonna address him as Jay because I don't wanna whatever, you know. But he was a cop. He's a cop in Union City, and he was in my life from 8 to 16 years old, and he was cool, I guess, in the beginning, but then he started getting too involved with my life, so he just decided he just wanted to control everything. He was a very controlling person. So my mom let it rock, and I feel like it was because it was the fear of finance problems. She didn't really have money like that, so she would, stick around, let him do whatever. He never hit us, but he was very stern, he was just ready to punish us and scream at us whenever. So it got to the point where he started paying for everything. My mom just kind of was working to just, provide food or whatever, but he was providing the main things. And during my sophomore year of high school, it got a little intense because he started going ham. I paid the rent, I paid the TV, I paid the light, everything. He would just not let anything go. I drove down the block and got you McDonald's. It was just every day. It was driving me crazy. So one night happened, and I guess just to cut it short, I don't want to be too detailed, but point is, me and him got into a fist fight, and my mom was in the kitchen, and she saw the whole thing happen. She didn't stop it. Me and him were just going at it, and eventually it ended up with him sitting on my face, telling my mom that I was crazy for trying to kill him, which definitely did not happen. So I guess backtrack a little. he drove me crazy to a point where I was just like, you know what, like, if you are just gonna continue to pay for all of my life, like, please just take my life. So I had a knife in my hand, being all dramatic. 16-year-olds, they're a little dramatic. So I had it in my hand, and he was like I don't know what he was thinking, but whatever. Fast track back to where he was sitting on me. He was telling my mom that I was trying to kill him. And I was like, no, like, that's not what happened. He literally, like, the minute he jumped on me, I just dropped the knife. Anyway, so with that, like, I was really scared to go back home. We ended up going back to that same home where we all lived. And my mom was like, no, I promise you, he's just not gonna, like, be here anymore. 2 weeks later, without talking to me or my sister, he was just back. And she was like, well, he's back. And that was that. So I ended up moving out of my house when I was 16. And my mom wanted me back in the house, so I agreed that if I go back, we have to move out. And so after that, she still continued to bring boyfriends around, and I was just never friendly to any of them ever again. Even if they were good people, I was very like, oh, another one, like, and she would just force us to be nice to them, and I'd just be like, hi. So that's, I think, my experience with men in a short summary.
Given your history with men, how has that affected your sexuality?
So, being that I have a history with men, a tough history with men, my sexuality has, I guess my sexual interest has started very young. So, I lost my virginity when I was 12, but before that, I think at like the age of like 11 or 10, I was ready to have sex. Like, I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. And like, it was little small things like having my Barbies have sex, which, by the way, my mom caught me one time having them have sex, and she was so concerned. I was like, Mom, she's like, you don't do that. Anyway, so like, having them have sex, and I guess I was very curious about my body, and it was like, obviously it was very enjoyable. Like, I guess, touching myself, masturbating, whatever you want to call it. It was very enjoyable. So I just knew from a young age that that's what I wanted to do. And fast forward to that, I ended up, I also had a curiosity for girls for a long time. So all of high school, I was a lesbian. And I mean, I think at my teenage years, it was a prime form of chaos, because I was just having sex with like women left and right. Like, I had a girlfriend, cheating on her with another girlfriend. Like, I think that it showed in many ways, not only in sexuality but in relationship, that I just couldn't hold anything stable in high school up until my 3-year girlfriend, but that's a different story. And then I started having sexual intercourse and interacting with men again when I was 19. And from there, it just, I guess my sexual experiences with men have always been very, I just refuse to be submissive. I refuse to be submissive. And so, I mean, even if I was being submissive, even if I'm being fake submissive, oh my goodness, hold on. Even if I'm being submissive, it's a very fake submissive. Like, if I'm not comfortable, I'll find my way out of it, but not in an obvious way. It'll be kind of like, oh, okay, like, lay down, like, but if I feel like I'm losing control, I don't feel comfortable at all. And so with having not control of my body, it's not a good feeling for me. And in regards to dominance, is where I feel like I rule the best, because I get to choose what I want, what I don't want, and it feels kind of like you're my like, I don't want to be, but you're my bitch, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of feels it feels right in me to just be the one in control. And I think that it has a lot to do with the fact that I was never in control when I was younger, but it has like became like a very like good thing growing up. I guess I'm just satisfied with the fact that I'm able to twist it that way, if that makes any sense.
How do you think your mom's unhealthy relationship with men has shaped the way you handle relationships with men?
how do I think that my mom's unhealthy relationships with men has shaped the way I view men or approach men? I definitely flinch when just approaching men in general, whether it's my mom's new boyfriend or it's my relationship. I don't. It just kind of feels like, you know, when you become numb to a situation, it's just kind of like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then you're almost like really liking this person and it just doesn't work. And then you just lose momentum and it's kind of like, well, it didn't work. And I feel like that's how I approach things now, because I just kind of like shoot and hope that it aims. That's unfortunately the reality of what that has brought me to at this point. I feel kind of unsafe with just like allowing my emotions to be in control, aka allowing Delilah to be in control. Like, I just don't trust that it'll drive me down the right way, because it hasn't ever, and why would it start now, kind of thing. So like, if love starts and it works, like, thank God, and Delilah will be very happy. But if it doesn't work, Laura's kind of like, all right, anyway, I guess, you know, moving on to the next topic, kind of thing. So yeah, and then even I struggle with my mom. Like, me and my mom don't have a good relationship because of that. Like, she's just allowed so much in my life, and I like to even imagine one of my children to be born into this world and somebody disrespect them. I already feel like I would react 10 times worse than she has ever. And so like it becomes like a trust issue with just people. If men have failed me, all right, men fail, shit happens. But then like your parents, you turn around and my dad's not here. I've never met my dad. He's a drug addict and supposedly he died, right? And then I have my mom, who's just kind of like failed. And so it's just kind of scary to just be like, word, I'm gonna just put my marbles in all of this when like I can't look back and be like, nah, she's been there. She's held it down. So at least I have some example of love. Like, no, not directly. And so it's just been a very like shaky path, I guess, with like relationships. Me and relationships.
Okay. So let's talk about the recent relationship that you talked about in your blog.
So I guess I can start off by saying that I guess this is the deepest I've loved ever, and it sucks. I think I'm in a very, very good place right now, but just looking back at it, it just sucks that like I feel like that's just not gonna be a thing ever again. I guess it started off with me and him just being very like open. We're just having sex, that's all it was. And then eventually that's what I thought it was, and it just grew into bigger things. And so he was about to pledge a fraternity, and I knew that. Okay, hold on, let me gather myself. So I knew that he was gonna pledge a fraternity. And so, you know, I kept telling him, this is not gonna work. This is really not gonna work. You're gonna want to ball out when you're done. And he was like, no, like, this is gonna work. We're gonna do it. Blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, word. And I ended up moving in with him, and it was very difficult. Like, it was very difficult months. Like, I'd like go to sleep crying. I'd wake up crying. I'd have nightmares. It was tough. Okay, it was tough. So, you know, whatever. And so, I like let him know all my fears. It was never like, oh my God, why didn't she express it? It was more like, no, like, you know, like, you're gonna leave. It's gonna happen. And he's like, no, whatever. So whatever. He crosses, and the minute he crosses, he leaves. And I guess it hit me a lot because like I was so willing to like blindly do anything for him. wasn't reciprocated. So yeah, I guess when he crossed, he was just like, this, like, I don't have the love that you want me to give you. And it just kind of, like, it was just a slap in the face in all different directions, because I told you you weren't going to be able to do it, and here we are. Once everything's all said and done, once I gave all of me, is when you're like, you know what, you should pack your bags and, like, leave my house, and we should part ways. And that shit was really hard. So yeah, that's that.
So now that you're removed from the situation with him, how do you feel about how everything played out?
So clearly I'm still very hurt about it. Now I'm removed in the sense of, like, I don't want to go back. I feel like I have the right brain on to know that I don't want to ever go back to that. But being in the place that I am now, I recognize that I feel like I was used again in a different way. And, not to be this dramatic little piece of shit, like, oh my god, everything bad happens to me, but I just feel like it's kind of like a buildup of, like, me just kind of trying to, like, find love somewhere. Like, my mom was too busy out here, like, loving men. These men didn't love me. You know what I mean? Moving forward, I'm trying to create my own love life. In high school, I'm over here just loving everybody. Then I finally move up and feel like I really love someone, and it's like, damn, that shit's failing too. So it sucks, and it feels like, I'm used. I feel used. But, everything happens for a reason, and it is what it is now.
Given your issue with control, did you ever feel like there was a lack of control in that relationship?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I lacked control after he decided to leave, and there was nothing I could do about it. I threw tantrums. I met a side of me I didn't know before. So I, like, was crying, like, viciously, violently in my car, crying that I just had no control. Like, he just didn't want to be with me, and there's nothing I could do about it. And I mean, I think I just have too much pride to beg anyone to stay, but on my own, it was very hard for me to take in, like, where did I go wrong? Like, I did everything I could, and I'm still even willing to work with you, and I'm still just thrown to the side. So yeah.
Can you check if that camera's still recording? Red dot is still on. Oh yeah, beautiful. Sorry.
Alright. So in this relationship, I feel like you made it up very obvious that you feel like you learned how to love someone and you gave all the love that you had to give, but do you feel like you learned how you want to be loved and / accept love?
Do I know how to be loved? I don't know if I know how to be loved, honestly.
But, like, I feel like you can't realistically expect for someone to not question. And, like, even if they know your history and you know that's something you have to work on, like, moving forward in that relationship, I feel like eventually it is going to become an issue. So, like, long term, like, how do you see that panning out? Or, like
I see what you're saying. I mean, I definitely,
or not, like,
I need help,
necessarily
bro.
like that, but, like, I asked you this question last time, like, how are you gonna get over that, like, move forward and let go of that? Because I feel like that is part of your trauma, that's a consequence of your trauma, but how are you gonna let go of that? Because even though you've accepted and I feel like you've forgiven parts of it, that's still something you're holding on to.
How do I expect to get over the fact that, honestly, it's just really hard to sit here and say, oh yeah, if this person shows me like relentless love for 10 years, you know what I mean? Like, who's gonna want to sit here for 10 years and just accept everything I tell them? No one's gonna want to do that. But that's something that I just still haven't figured out yet. I just don't know. I really, really, really don't know how to like accept like love. I just really don't. Like, me and my mom don't hug. Like, if we hug, I cringe. I swear to God. Me and my sister, she's my best friend. Like, I'll die for that little girl. And like, me and her don't cuddle. We don't touch. Like, and like, I cuddle with like, you know, my intimate but like, in my head, I'm like, we're cuddling, this is cute, alright. Like, I'm still in control mentally. But like, it's just a place where I don't know how to be. I literally don't know. And I don't know, like, maybe I have to like sit here in couples therapy with listen man, like, future babe, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to go to therapy. Like, don't get involved with me if you don't want to go. But like, I wish I had an answer. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, it might have to take like the right person. And I don't even know if the right person can break that. I don't know.
Well, I was gonna say, I don't think the question was really like, what does the other person have to do for you to feel comfortable or whatever. I think the question was more so, what are you gonna do to get past your trauma? Because this is about you. This is not about how the other person loves you. This is about how you're willing to accept love, and how can you be willing to accept love if you're not? And how, like I feel like the whole point of this is like, this is my trauma. This is what I'm doing to get rid of it, or what I have done to get past it, or how I'm working toward getting past it. And like, this is like the good place that I want to be in, or that I can see myself in, or that I'm currently in, whatever. And like, right now, like, I feel like you're hitting a brick wall where you're like, this is my trauma, and that's it. And now I'm here.
But as you can see, I'm stuck. I'm actually stuck. Like, I really don't know how to get past that. Like, yes, my blog is all about let's fucking grow, let's do this thing. Like, I agree, yeah, like, that's my point, and I want to, and I'm not against trying to work past this wall, but I really don't know how to.
I feel like you've overcome a lot of pieces in your trauma, and like, obviously anybody that has experienced any type of trauma, like, it is a work in progress to get to a place where you finally feel like, all right, I've healed and I fully have let go of, and I feel like this is the part of your trauma that you're still holding on to, the control part, and like accepting whatever love and whoever comes into your life shows love that way, because it makes you uncomfortable. You're not like, they don't show you however they feel to show you that they love you, and you're like, okay, like, I'm seeing that and I'm accepting it and I see it. You're like actually physically uncomfortable with whatever they're doing, so like, you're not okay.
I feel like the main point is like, because I feel like you're looking at it from a broad perspective of like, what can I do in this theoretical relationship?
It's not about making them comfortable, but making you comfortable, because in whatever relationship that you're in, you need to actually be comfortable.
But I don't have an answer.
Do you want to get rid of? Because
yes, I want to, but I don't know how to. I don't know what the right step is. It's not that I don't want to. I'm willing. If somebody can give me a book that says, bro, this is how you will fully fulfill love with someone, word, I'll read that shit and do it. But everybody's so different, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to answer that. I really don't. Like, what to do. I mean, I'm willing. I just know, one thing I know for sure when I love someone is that I'm willing to like go through all ends to try to make this thing work. If I really love you, I just know that I can do that. I know that I can do that. So if that means that I'm at the verge of losing you because of the fact that I can't get over a trauma, I'm gonna try to like consciously remind myself, bro, you're like, stop, like, that's enough. Like, don't you see this person's trying? I think all it takes.
But again, it's not the person. It's about you, how you're feeling.
You don't think that that's the solution right there? Part of like overcoming it is realizing it, and you're aware.
I think that.
So like, just remind yourself, like, bro, stop. Like, this is just your bitchy side or your trauma side talking. This isn't what's happening.
And I think you say, yes, I want to change this. I want to change like this part of me or whatever, but you don't actually, because like, at least not yet. Like, you're thinking of it in like in the future, when and if I ever love someone enough.
If I can love someone like that again, I just know that I will be able to somehow work through it, because like I mentioned before, like I was going through it. Like with him, I was going through it. Going to sleep crying, waking up crying, couldn't get up because I was fucking, like, anxiety had me. Like I had to literally, like, that's why I ended up in therapy, because I really could not get myself to do shit. Like I was like fucking having anxiety attacks everywhere. It was very bad. But I still managed to love him. And like, even though I was mentally fucking destroyed, like I still managed to try to fucking do it with him. And like, that's my point, I guess, because your question is about love regarding somebody else. Like, if I love you that much, none of what I think, I believe, well, I mean, you know what I mean, rationally, none of like my traumas, I feel like, or none of my struggles are gonna be put on you, because I want to make it work with you.
No, but it's not about putting it on someone. It's the fact that in a relationship where you're in love, you shouldn't be having anxiety attacks and going through it.
No.
You know,
I think
because
what she's saying is that you don't want to wait until you're in that part to start working past it. Until you're in that, I love this person, so now let me make these steps to move
like
past
you
it.
should, whatever relationship you're in, if you're happy and you're in love with this person, you shouldn't be feeling uncomfortable because they paid for a meal. You shouldn't be like during sex if he's like being a little dominant. Like, you know, it's like those things that you shouldn't be feeling. It should feel good. It should feel like rewarded.
But I think I need to get to that point.
You know, have you talked to your therapist about this?
I think the thing is, like, this question is more of like,
It's
this
really
is a
theoretical, though.
No, but it's not.
It's
because
not,
this is the trauma
because
you're holding right now in this room.
Exactly.
Like, and you're not in a relationship, are you? You're
Zoom
not.
in to my face.
I'm it's a trauma that you carry every single day, every single second of your life. It's not gonna start kicking in when you're in love with someone. It kicked in last year. You know what I'm saying?
Like, regardless,
so,
like,
like,
first date, you're already like,
the
don't
question,
pay for me.
The question,
You're already
yeah. So like,
uncomfortable.
how are you ever like? That trauma's already there when you're just starting to date someone. It's not there when you're in love with someone. You know what I'm saying? So like, the question, I think what she's asking more is like, what steps are you planning to take within yourself to get over it before you start dating someone? So that when you do start dating someone, you could be like, wow, you want to pay for dinner? Thanks. I really appreciate that.
And not be uncomfortable.
That way
Because
you
I
can
feel
love
like
You
someone.
guys don't get comfortable with pay for your shit?
No.
I don't
Bro,
know.
I swear to God, I start dripping sweat. I'm like, oh my God, are you gonna pick up that bill because maybe I should take my card out? Like, don't pay for me, please. Like,
Exactly. And I feel like what you were suggesting of like, when I'm really in love, it's like, when I'm really in love, I don't care. I'll go through it because I'm in love, and that's not fair to you.
Or to the other person.
but
It's not fair
like,
to
what
either,
the
dude.
fuck am I supposed to do about it?
You're
Listen,
supposed
man.
to work on it.
Exactly,
Listen,
you're supposed to
guys.
work on it
I have
before you're
problems.
there. You didn't answer the question though. Did you talk to your therapist about this?
No, we didn't get this in depth. My therapist was cool. She did some stuff, but she didn't dig. She just let me talk to her, and it was cool because nobody listens to me. So I'm like, therapist, I have you for an
really
hour.
offended by that.
All right,
actually.
Zuli, but like I get
I have
tired
to
of talking to you
interrupt
because I'm like,
because-
damn, like I feel like I bombard you with my stuff sometimes, and I tell you a lot, and I feel like I'm bombarding you. So it feels nice, like, yeah, bitch, you're getting paid to do this, so sit down and listen to me, because you got no choice.
But I honestly, like, this question should have been asked way before this interview. But like Nadia said, like, you saying that thing, like, okay, I'm gonna tell myself, Laura, cut it the fuck out because it's not okay. Like,
You
That's
can't shake
something-
that. Like,
some-
trauma's not that, though.
but yeah, but everything starts with a small step. Like, that's how you get
Yeah.
over trauma.
I
How you
think-
get over your actions and like it's like.
Like,
If
same
I-
with an anxiety attack, like, if you realize that you're having an anxiety attack, that's the first step to
That's
being in
literally the
control.
first step. Like, that's literally the first step to anything. It's like, holy shit. Like, that's the first step, and that's the hardest part, honestly. Like, that's honestly
Once you're aware
the second, yeah.
that
This,
you're doing this,
You have to
you
make
can
action.
actually, like, pinpoint when you're doing it, and then, like,
just be
try
like,
to work through it as
Bruh.
it's happening.
All right,
That's
cancel.
exactly it.
I can't guide you guys anywhere. cheated on me, but it's okay. I'll just kill him later. Cheers.
I feel like that has to be part of the bloopers. That was funny.